Well, hello, gorgeous, and welcome. I'm Tara Kinden, multi-passionate creator, mentor, and cosmic advisor. Inside my world, we're not just reading charts or talking about strategy. We're creating brands, businesses, and legacies that are designed to feel like you. Built from your energy, aligned with your voice, and infused with that soul level truth. And if you've been here a while, you know that that's my jam. So whether I'm guiding you through your Venus star point, or we're crafting some ritual pottery here, or mentoring women who are ready to reclaim their power, my mission is simple. It's to help you remember who you are, to return you to your creative magic, and to activate the version of you that is ready to rise. So today we're dropping into the Gemini New Moon that is happening on May the 27th. And this one is really special because it's not loud, but it is also powerful. It is not about performance, it's about presence. And it's asking you only one question: are you ready to tell a new story? And I think you are. So let me share with you the astrology chart first, and then we're going to dive into the human design. We are also going to talk about the Sabian symbol, which is something new, but I find very fascinating, and I know you will as well. So this here is the beautiful chart for this Gemini new moon, and I'm actually going to pull this secondary sheet just to show you something really interesting. So it has a lot more masculine energy than feminine. You can see that it's like 19-1. So it is going to bring forward more drive, more movement, wanting you to get going. But what we need you to take into consideration is that there is an element of completion here, and I'll talk deeper about this, but just as an element of completion, you will be up in your heads a lot, where there's a lot more air than anything else, okay? Now, the moon is also out of bounds, which is something that is very important. Okay, so coming back to this chart, let's look at the magic here of the astrology that is staring us in the face when we look at this. So it's at 6 degrees of Gemini. It is a sign ruled by Mercury, the planet of language, of learning, and of perception. Gemini teaches us to explore, to ask better questions, and the ability to change our minds. So when new truth arrives, we get the opportunity to change our mind if we so desire. Now, this moon is not about overthinking or scattered ideas. This moon is about subtle soul level shifts and of tiny changes in our tone, of rewiring and rewriting the narrative that we are speaking, not only to ourselves, but to the world around us. So Taurus season brought in this element of grounding. Well, Gemini is inviting in that swift moving with intention, not chaos. So this moon is basically saying to us, don't run from any discomfort or uncertainty. Embrace it, embody it. Don't force answers that haven't ripened fully. Instead, listen, get curious. The first sentence of your next chapter begins right here, right now. So when we look at this chart, I want to bring to your attention, like, here is the energy of the Gemini. You see a lot of Gemini, building and growing here. And we also have a lot of Aries energy. So we look to Mercury, who is the ruler of this new moon. He is also here in Gemini. Okay, he is a happy dude here. He is also making a positive aspect, a trine over to Pluto and the part of fortune. So there is gift and transformation. We are going through a death, transformation, and rebirth, if you will. Now, this is an invitation for shifting and changing. I also think there is a gift here when you allow yourself to do this without resistance. Because Taurus season really, it gets us stuck. It gets us where it's fixed. Now we're moving into like, woo, a little bit more movement, a little bit more excitement around what's next. And so with this excitement of what's next, we're going to talk about this because there's an element needing to happen here of completion, okay? So with Mercury here, he is conjunct Hygeia. Hygeia is the goddess of preventative health and wellness, and she has played a very pivotal role so far in this year. She is front and center. And now, not a lot of people have been talking about her, but I cannot stop talking about her because your health and wellness, and I also think while she's conjunct Mercury, your mental health and wellness is everything. So watching here not to spiral out of control in the mind and to keep yourself in the preventative place of, okay, noticing the thoughts, letting them be here, but also not being completely attached to them and rewiring, rewriting that story that needs to be rewritten. Now we have Venus conjunct Chiron, which I'm going to talk deeper about. But this is our self, like Venus is our worth, our values. She tells us about our magnetism, what we desire, what we want. She is also here to bring beauty into our lives. And then Chiron, this is the wounded healer who wants us to heal the deepest parts of ourselves, and throw in Eris, who's right on in here as well, the goddess of discord. And they are exact. So Chiron and Eris are exact during this new moon, which I have to say is some powerful business coming up here. So I'll be curious to know in the divine feminine, what really becomes, what becomes of this, because there's an energy here of the rising of this worth and this value in the women, and in healing the depths of ourselves, of being seen. So wherever you felt like you haven't been seen, wherever you felt like you've diminished your power, or your power has been taken away from you, there's a reclamation of sorts here. And we're going to talk about it deeper when I go into the human design. So now let's just look at Saturn. Let's look at Neptune, also in Aries. Okay. The Aries planets are playing very powerful role in this new moon. And when we think about Saturn has just moved into Aries, so has Neptune. There's this energy here of newness, of new structures, of new boundaries, because that is what Saturn does. And then Neptune here inviting our higher selves in, saying, let's look at the highest versions of who we are cosmically, spiritually. What do we want to put structures and boundaries around to be able to be in this version of ourselves, right? So there's the invitation. And just very briefly looking at the astrology, I want to take you deeper into the Sabian symbol. So the Sabian symbol for this particular lunation is, and we round up. So even though the new moon is at 6 degrees and 5 minutes, we're rounding up to 7, because you always round up to the next digit. Okay, so it is called an old-fashioned well. So the image it holds is the key to this new moon energy. Depth, stillness, sourced from within. Okay, so self-sourced. We are being reminded that truth doesn't always move with big, ginormous, earth-shattering change and noise. Sometimes it rises up from the very still, silent place from deep within. And remembering that it's already inside of us. So we're not seeking something externally. We're recovering or reclaiming something internally. This moon is your permission to pause, to draw from that inner well, to stop chasing clarity outside of yourself, polling the audience. This is for you to go in and instead ask yourself, what is my body saying? What is my truth? What do I already know, but I have yet to have spoken out loud? You do not need to prove a thing. You do not need to rush. Your well is full. Trust that what you draw from within you will nourish you. Okay, now let me stop this share. Let me show you the human design chart, and let's deepen that understanding of this energy. So right now I'm just going to enlarge this guy. All right, so you'll see this is the chart here. We've got an open head, ajna, spleen center, and heart. So we've got some openness, then we also have some beautiful definition here. The throat chakra, which we'll talk about first, is lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay, and then we have the spleen center wide open. So this is where we want to watch the fear mongering that could be going on, because if you don't see it for what it is, you can get swept up into feeling very fearful. Okay, so this new moon with the human design chart, it's rich with guidance. I really want to show you how you can move through this in this moment. And the chart carries an energy of an emotional manifesting generator. Now remember, this is a snapshot. This is not your natal chart. This is just the energy the collective may be experiencing. How it shows up for all of us is different, because different gates, centers, and all that are being activated differently. But just holistically, this is the vibe, okay? With a 1-4 profile. So what this means is that you're not here to wait forever, but you are here to honor your emotional clarity before acting. When we have emotional definition, we are not meant to make fast and furious decisions. We are meant to be slow, mindful, more embodied. How do I actually feel in my body right now? Also, the energy is here for not here for surface level starts. Like it's here for depth. That one goes deep, okay, in the profile and ripple that wisdom through aligned community and opportunity, which is the four. So we want to go deep. We want to be deeply connected to our community. And again, the only defined centers in this chart are the throat, the will, the emotional solar plexus, the sacral, and the root, which means we are working without the energies, or we're amplifying the energies of the head, the ajna, and the spleen. So mental certainty is not available here. Intuition isn't our guide either. Emotional clarity is our compass. So what we speak or share must come from the body, not from the mind. And remember, this is a Gemini new moon. So your feelings matter more than the thoughts, I know. And it's about embodied truth. How do I feel? And so many people are detached from their bodies. So this is where it's going to get a little tricky for some. Let's talk about the gate activation. So the new moon is actually being activated in gate 35. I'm speaking to you from Quantum Human Design, Karen Corey Parker's language, because I find it more invitational and lovely. It's not as aggressive and it's not harsh. So the gate 35 is the gate of experience. And this is where it's the voice that really says, I know because I lived it. It's about discerning what experiences are worthy and worthwhile for your energy and refusing to settle for that kind of boredom that slowly suffocates your potential. So you're asking yourself here, like, where have I been settling for ease instead of expansion? You know, where is my soul hungry for a new story? And what experience am I ready to initiate because I know it's going to help me grow? Then we look at that Venus and Chiron and Aries. Remember, they are in the gate 42. And so that gate 42 is about conclusion. This is about finishing what matters, closing cycles with grace. But Chiron, that wounded healer, there's deep emotional layering here that's really trying to help us find the healing places where we've maybe abandoned ourself mid-journey, where we haven't quite finished what we started. So this is where we are going to begin to stop shaming ourselves for the things left undone. Instead, ask ourselves in this new moon, well, what needs to be completed? Not out of pressure, but because we need to complete it in order to move forward, like in a squeaky clean kind of way. So this is about creating capacity for the future by letting go of energetic clutter from the past, right? Think about Chiron, that wounded healer, Venus, our values and our worth. So it's like we're reclaiming parts of our worth so we can shine our lights forward. Also throw in Eris, who's also in that gate of conclusion. So maybe there was a traumatic event or experience you had would involve that Eris, the goddess of discord, where you're finally, like, it's coming up again and it's in your field right now, and it's saying, what parts do I need to let myself off the hook for around this and not take it forward, or where I need to rewrite a story in my body? Because remember, this moon is about the body and the feelings as opposed to what we think, because you've probably processed it in your mind a lot more than you've processed it in the actual body. And this is the somatic experience. So there's so many somatic teachers out there right now that maybe that's something you want to go and experience. I also use tuning forks in my work and Bach flowers. And this is about the emotional wellspring, the emotional wellness, that it moves and helps the somatic parts of our body where we've stored these events and experiences, and we help reintegrate them. We don't get rid of them, we reintegrate this energy, because when we're stressed and chaotic, our energy is all out here. All these photons and things that we require are out here. So our lights look dim. We look dimmer because our energy is out here. And how we bring it in is through the elements of using, I believe, tuning forks and Bach flowers. It helps to reintegrate those photons and brightens you up. When clients leave, they actually look brighter, which I find so uniquely fascinating, because I've never seen that happen in other forms of this kind of work. Okay, Saturn and Neptune in gate 25. This is the gate of spirit. Saturn and Neptune are sitting here in Aries, and they are reminding us to return to trust, to divine order, to sacred timing. You know, it's that knowingness that we don't need to hustle or control our way into alignment. We get to do things differently. It gets to be different. And I just completed a whole podcast series on this. So I will link the podcast below. It's the Tara Kinden Experience. You can just search it up on all your favorite platforms. And I drop 2 podcasts a week where I talk about a truth. And the biggest truth that I had for myself was like, I had this awakening in this quiet moment. And I think a lot of you are going to get the same awakening in this new moon that was like, wow, take a deep breath, and you're just like, I don't need to do things like I've been doing them. So this is the reminder. Gate 25 reminds us that we are part of something bigger, that you matter, that your life plays a role in this cosmic rhythm, and that, you know, you're a thread in this exquisite tapestry of life. Not to undermine, you know, or underestimate the ripple effect you have just from your presence alone. And so I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to come back to you here. We're going to sort of sum up the energy of this experience in a ritual, because I want you to be able to whisper into that well, so that inner well of you. And as you know, like, this new moon is calling for something simple but profound. So here is a ritual that I love for this energy. You just need a candle, you need a journal, and you need a symbolic item. So it can be a stone, a necklace, a piece of pottery you love, you know, a jewel, like something spectacular that just lights you up. Could be coins, whatever. You're going to light your candle. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to place your hands on your body. You're going to breathe into the stillness. Imagine lowering a bucket into your inner well, and then ask, what truth is ready to rise? And you're going to wait, and you're going to listen, and then you're going to write what comes forward. No filter, no editing, just automatic writing, and let it come out. You can even just write one sentence that begins your new story. Just one. Hold your symbolic object and speak your sentence out loud. Let it live in your field. Keep that object nearby until the next lunar cycle, because this is going to remind you of your clarity, of your sentence, of your new story that's beginning. And I love this for you. So, I mean, even a ring, maybe it's a ring, maybe it's something, the necklace you can wear every day, a set of earrings that you clean them and you clear them and you get them ready for this initiation, because you're being initiated into a new cycle, and it's a big cycle. We have a lot of big energy right now, okay? So if this new moon is stirring something up inside of you, I want you to trust that. Whispering into that well, trust that. You can grab your Cosmic Snapshot with me, and this is going to help you explore where this Gemini New Moon activates in your chart, in your human design, in your astrology. This mini video reading connects you to all of those places. It connects you to your HD, your astrology, and your Venus star point. And that way you can move forward with more clarity, okay? Or join Magnetic Foundations. This is my signature mini course. It's super simple. It's a beautiful way to unlock your Venus star point, reconnect you to your natural magnetism, and help you align with your voice, your values, your vision, and your unique energetic blueprint. And so if you want to hear me speak about all the things, the weekly truth is something I drop every Monday on the Tara Kinden Experience podcast, where I dive into a truth of the week, and then we go deeper into the deeper dive on Wednesday, which is Mercury's day, where we explore even more around that topic. We kind of peel back the layers of the onion. I know you'll love it. I want you to listen on in. Let me know how you're doing. You can comment below. Let me know about your energy. If you have questions about your chart, all the things. I'm here to help support you on your journey, because your voice is the key. Your chart is the map. and your life is the legacy. You do not need to wait for a sign. This new moon can be that sign. It is your sign. Speak this new story. Begin again and let it be true this time. So until next time, I'm so grateful you spent your time with me today. I hope you have an incredible new moon, and please be in connection with me. You can follow me over on Instagram at Tara Kinden Co, which I'll link all the things below. Take care, everyone, and have a beautiful new moon experience.